The shocking truth about the Sahara Desert revealed by experts. Terrifying new discoveries hidden under the Sahara have catapulted this terrain into one of the most mysterious places on Earth. You've probably only heard about how hot it is or how large it is, 9 million square kilometers, if you're wondering. You may look at it and see nothing but sand, gravel, and dunes, but like almost everything in this universe, its true nature hides deep below the surface. Because people of this land have lived close. Join us as we dig all the treasures found beneath that reddish-brown sand first up an ancient mega-lake. Be sure to like and subscribe to our videos for more. When the Nile River pushed through a low channel near Wadi Tushka 250,000 years ago, it flooded the eastern Sahara, creating a lake that covered more than 42,000 square miles at its highest level. The mega lake in the Sahara Desert rose 810 feet above sea level and covered 42,000 square miles, while a smaller lake rose 623 feet above sea level. When reviewing Space Shuttle radar topography data from Egypt, National Air and Space Museum geologist Ted Maxwell and his colleagues found the lake. The geologists created the profile of an old mega lake using wind-blown sediments, rushing water sediment, and radar photos of bedrock beneath the desert sand. Egypt's high aridity let the radar detect subsurface features and buried waterways up to 50 feet below its surface. Egypt's southernmost oasis, Kisaba, is located along one of the ancient watercourses geologists discovered using Space Shuttle topography data. The water is 6.5 to 9.5 feet below the surface and was recently plowed for melon growing. Next, archaeological ruins were found. Scientists estimated that the Nile once flooded the entire Kasaba Tushka depression of Egypt and created the giant lake by observing fossil fish found in deposits 250 miles west of the Nile and 810 feet above sea level. The Paleolithic human settlements near Salima and Tafawi in Egypt correspond to a lake covering approximately 42,000 square miles. This is because the settlements stayed near water zones. 93 miles west of the Nile suggested a second lower lake level 623 feet above sea level covering 18,600 square kilometers. The geologists also calculated the size of the second lake using the elevation of the Tushka Channel, which once carried Nile water into the desert, according to the researchers. The newly discovered lakes add to the growing evidence of numerous early and middle Pleistocene lakes across North Africa that could have supported human migration patterns. In December 2010, geologists revealed their evidence for Pleistocene lakes in South Egypt's Tushka area. The desert yielded a protoplanet piece older than Earth. In spring 2020, a rare fragment of an embryonic planet from before Earth was created was found in the Sahara Desert. Can you imagine what our solar system looked like then? ERG Check 002 X002, a meteorite, originated in the crust of an old protoplanet, a small celestial body that builds planets. According to a study published in Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, the volcanic space rock is the oldest lava to fall to Earth and provides an unprecedented look of early solar system planetary formation. Alex Barrett, a geochemistry professor at the University of Western Brittany in France, jumped at the chance to examine this extraordinary time capsule from the solar system's infancy, which belongs to the andesitic family of volcanic rocks and is unlike anything else ever seen. From the moment they heard the first descriptions of this rock, Barrett and his colleagues knew the X02's potential. Based on earlier research on another rare and acidic meteorite described in a 2014 article, they were interested in the genesis of such extraterrestrial and acidic melting and the development of primordial crusts. Such samples are incredibly interesting to scientists. X002 was called for its landing place in Algeria's El Sheikh Dune Sea and was made up of many meteorites weighing about 70 pounds. The stone's magnificent crystals were discovered in May 2020, but earthly degradation of the extraterrestrial rocks revealed they fell in the desert much earlier. Barrett confirmed that it wasn't a recently fallen meteorite, but was slightly weathered. They knew from the Tatooine meteorite study that terrestrial weathering was quick even in the Sahara. After obtaining meteorite samples, Barrett and his colleagues were able to determine when this piece of protoplasmic crust, which was partially melted as lava, crystallized into a solid form. After analyzing the magnesium and aluminum in the rock, it was found to be 4.566 billion years old, making it the oldest known piece of igneous crust on Earth. The meteorite is 58% silicon dioxide. indicating that its ancient pier and body had a crust made of andesite rock instead of basalt, which is more common in volcanically active regions of the Earth. These andesitic crusts were probably abundant in asteroids and protoplanets during the early days of the solar system, but they have become extremely scarce in the billions of years since then during our solar system's turbulent history. The solar system's first differentiated protoplanets and most of their debris were either destroyed or developed into rocky planets, making the discovery of this protoplanet fragment uncommon. The study believes ECO-02 was ejected from its parent body by one of these interactions a few decades after the protocrust planets hardened and crystallized, giving stunning new insights about planets growing embryos before Earth existed. Barrett said he, his colleagues, and other teams are conducting other experiments to validate EC-002's age. Researchers are also studying the crystals inside the rock that are older than the surrounding volcanic material to learn more about the composition of the magma formed during a protoplanet's early activities, which will help scientists like Barrett deduce the crust development next. A bus-sized ancient crocodile terrorized the seas. Tunisian paleontologists made a major discovery: the world's largest sea-dwelling crocodile. Previously unknown to science, was estimated to be more than 30 feet long and weigh over 3 tons. The skull alone measured more than 5 feet. Researchers named the new species Machimosaurus rex and published their findings in Cretaceous Research. Lead author Federico Fanti of the University of Bologna described the crocodile as massive and almost as big as a bus. You also believed that the creature was definitely at the top of the food chain when it existed, or at least where it lived. Fancy and his team, with the help of the National Geographic Society Committee for Research and Exploration, discovered the fossils buried there. Rex lived thousands of years after the hypothesized mass extinction, so that theory lost credibility. Fenty and his team concluded that the mass extinction theory was incorrect and that the scientific world needs to better understand what happened at the end of the Jurassic period and now at fossils of a strange animal in the Sahara have caught scientists' attention. Egyptian scientists found a 43-million-year-old fossil of a now extinct amphibious four-legged whale in Egypt, Sahara. Yep, a whale with legs. According to the study's authors, this creature had distinctive skull traits, and its mandible shows a propensity for more efficient oral mechanical processing, suggesting a strong raptorial eating style. One scientist was anxious to express his perspective. Abdullah Gohar informed everyone that the monster was probably fierce and lethal. This whale could bring Armageddon upon its prey. Scientists named the new whale Phyomycetus Nubis after Anubis, the canine-headed Egyptian god of mummification in the afterlife. Whales were once herbivorous, deer-like terrestrial mammals, but they evolved into carnivorous marine mammals. The Sahara Desert has a rich history and landscape, and this horrifying discovery has brought it into the forefront. If you visit southern Africa, you'll be surrounded by lush flora. Rainforests and jungles are common, but the northern part of the African continent has a completely different environment and climate, a region that has been ravaged and turned into a desert. The Sahara Desert in northern Africa is so large that it can swallow Spain 18 times over and covers 1/3 of the continent. It also has many dunes that cover plateaus, sand and gravel-covered plains, salt flat, and other topographical characteristics are also present. Scientists say this enormous desert was a rainforest thousands of years ago, but what happened to create such a radical change? One reason the Sahara Desert became a desert was that farmers in the area overgrazed grasses in cattle grazing areas, which resulted in less moisture in regions over time because the vegetation that held moisture in this region was eaten up by animals. These nomadic humans may have used fire as a land management tool, which may have accelerated events in the region. What else did they discover in the Sahara Desert within this resurgence? Bullseye the Sahara's eyes, also known as the Gilbert Reshet, is a massive bullseye in the Sahara Desert that covers a 40-kilometer stretch. Only a few local tribes were aware of the formation for centuries, but the Gemini astronauts were the first to photograph it in the 1960s to track their landing sequences. Later, another satellite photographed it, and the rock is 100 million years old and contains many different types of stones. Clay pottery was also found, although the Nile-dwelling Egyptians didn't utilize it. Clay utilized by another adjacent civilization, so much remains to be learned in the region. What are your thoughts on the enormous Albaite mystery? The Sahara Desert may hold more unusual creatures. A bulldog-faced dinosaur was found in the Sahara Desert. The terrifying Cretaceous period carnivore was 20 feet long and weighed 3 tons, making it the size of a school bus. The unnamed theropod is a cousin of the dreaded Tyrannosaurus rex. The spinal sail, made of elongated vertebrae joined by a membrane, was its most noticeable feature. What did they learn from the discovery? A set of flat bones beneath the skin reached a length of 6 feet, encircled by a network of fine veins. The blood flowing through them colored the sail, which might have changed color to attract a mate, intimidate an attacker, or regulate body temperature by absorbing heat. In a university press release, Salem noted how belly saudas were incredibly diversified and one of the most feared predators in the Cretaceous era. The finding of this dinosaur adds another predator to their inventory. What are your thoughts in this video, and let us know in the comments section below. Like and subscribe to this channel for more awesome light bulb moments. See you in the next one.